Your website talks about, and I know you've shared this with me as well, your vision is to make more environmentally friendly, sustainable toys. And that's a future aim in the business. What steps are you taking right now to put that in reality in the future?
I'm very guilty of not doing much for too many years and then waking up. My two co-founders, Dr. Graham Taylor and Kenny McAndrew, are accomplished scientists before I met them, and then I backed them to go into this business. And for a very long time, they've hated the fact that we make stuff out of plastic, petrochemical plastic, and they've wanted to do something about it. And we had a coming together and a meeting of minds about three and a half years ago. And we said, right, let's take steps. So we are working with a new compound that can replace petrochemical plastics in toys. There's lots of bioplastics out there. There's lots of claims for different types of plastic that don't do harm or recyclable stuff. And, there's loads of stuff. This is a very different thing. This was created by a team of scientists in Europe, backed by many governments. And there was a patent created, and our scientists worked with them on the development for that plastic for use in toys. So it's called Back to Earth, and it does what it says. Once you've disposed of it, wherever it may find itself, it will go back to Earth and leave no harmful nanoplastics. So that's one step we're doing, and then a lot of other with packaging, with more locally manufactured products, which is unusual in toys because most stuff's made in Asia. So lots of different things. We're not going to change overnight, but we will start to make a difference.
Amazing. I mean, the Back to Earth and the work, and obviously I can see it being a huge investment and potentially increasing the unit cost of each toy that you produce. Just something you mentioned there, as a charity ourselves, sustainability is quite high on our agenda, and as is raising environmentally conscious entrepreneurs for the future. When you talked there about the Back to Earth patent, it's almost like patenting the technology that could help the entire industry as a whole. Is it something that you there's plans on sharing with the wider industry for maximum benefit?
Thank you for asking. You could, because I remember doing a pitch originally with this to some investor business and saying, you could invest in this. We've got it exclusively. And they responded with, "That's probably the worst thing we've ever had." You've created something that can do no end of good for the planet, and you want to keep it to yourself. You're absolutely right.
I tried to flower that up a little bit, but
you did it much more politely than they did. But you're absolutely right. So yes, it will go out to everybody. We're going to open source it. People will be able to get hold of that product. If there's any little bit of selfishness, it's that we'll bring it to the market first, but we will also test it properly to make sure it works, make sure there's a huge amount of work. I mean, it's 3.5 years already down the road of development and work and testing. Look, you have to, with toys, everything you do, you have to test to extreme degrees. There's lots of stuff that does find its way into the market through unscrupulous importers or unscrupulous sellers, and it bypasses all the proper testing. And that's why good brands, I'd always recommend, brands that you trust, brands that are known, because they're under the spotlight, and because of that, they have to test to the nth degree.